Welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson. We've got another brand new show for you this week, and this one is all about you, our viewers. We're going to kick it off by meeting a viewer of Michigan Out of Doors TV who was actually able to make a dream hunt of a lifetime come true by using one of our contacts from a story he saw here on the show. We've got a couple exciting viewer videos for you as well.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's program, and we're really staying with that theme of you, the viewer. We're going to show you some viewer videos that were sent into us this year. Now, we didn't really do our viewer video competition, but we do have people sending in videos throughout the year, which we would encourage you to do. We're going to take a look at 2 or 3 of those today. We're also going to have a bragging board segment where you, the viewer, have sent us some of your successful photos from around the state, both hunting and fishing. And then we're going to have kind of an extended bragging board where we sit down with one of you, the viewers, and kind of learn a little bit about the Michigan wolf hunt that he was on this year. So lots of good stuff on this week's program. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gratzinger, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's the love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. By Chappelle, providing sleds, shelters, and accessories for your time on the ice. Chappelle offers a line of pop-ups, flipovers, and the Bay Runner, a mobile cabin with a shelf for electronics and a sliding seat. On the web at chappelle.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
You may remember this past fall we brought you a story from Muy Grande Ranch and Resort in Millersburg. We joined Chip Goleen and his family for a hunt of a lifetime. Chip was injured in a car accident years ago and sustained major injuries that make it a challenge to pursue his passion for deer hunting. Chip teamed up with Muy Grande, Safari Club, and Foundation for Hope to put him in the right spot with the right equipment to harvest his dream buck. After watching that episode, the family of Chad Jahr contacted Perry Heleski at Muy Grande for a special request. Chad is from Decatur, Michigan, and is battling stage 4 colon cancer. His girlfriend Amy thought if Chad could take a trip for his dream hunt, it might boost his spirits while he fights the disease. So Perry and Amy secretly laid the groundwork to surprise Chad with an elk hunt right here in Michigan. Chad arrived at camp with his dad and uncle.
We got a phone call, and it was Chad's girlfriend contacted us and wanted to surprise Chad with his dream hunt, which actually is an elk hunt. I got a hold of Mike at the Path Foundation. You know, him and his girlfriend worked it all out and surprised him with a hunt up here at Muy Grande for his dream hunt.
Getting ready to head out right now, and we kind of spotted him over in a certain area on the one side up on a ridge, and so we're gonna go ahead and drive over there and then see if we can't come over that ridge and see if he's still there. He's been traveling a bunch. He's been running all over the place. So hopefully we can get in there and get a good shot at a nice elk here.
Cool. Excited?
I'm ecstatic. I'm ready.
All right, if it happens right away on your first hunt, you're okay with that, right?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine with me.
Good.
Cool. All right. So Chad hit the woods in pursuit of the only elk on the 1,500-acre ranch. His hunt was made possible by the Path Foundation, located right here in Michigan.
Path Foundation was originally started 7 years ago. Originally, we did more providing guns and bows for kids that couldn't afford them, that wanted to get into the outdoor sports. We've kind of morphed into more of a Make-A-Wish type organization for hunting trips and fishing trips. The Make-A-Wish Foundation stopped doing hunts about that period of time and created a pretty good void that we've tried to fill.
The guides cut a track in the fresh snow and were able to get Chad close to the elk, but this bull was pretty riled up. In this large enclosure, this was looking like it would be a challenging hunt.
We're hunting this elk on 1,500 acres. We hunted all last week and we spotted him once with the other deer hunters. This is going to be quite the hunt. It's going to be finding a needle in the haystack, if you will. So Chad's going to be up for an experience like you could maybe find in Colorado, I think. So it'll be a lot of fun for him, and it should be a top-notch experience and a great trophy at the end of the day.
Chad was having a blast out here. In a couple of hours, he had seen this bull 3 times. The best look we got at him was when he popped out onto a trail and trotted away from us. Even if the bull had offered a shot, Chad would have had to pass. From his angle, the sun was shining directly into his scope and he couldn't get a bead on him. All of these close calls were just adding to the excitement.
The adrenaline's just amazing, being out in the truck and seeing him 3 times yesterday, and it's pretty exciting. Definitely takes my mind off of everything else.
And there's a lot to see out here in Muy Grande's wintertime woods. Perry has a beautiful facility here and doesn't think twice about opening his doors to help make a difference in a fellow hunter's life.
When Mike called me and shared Chad's story, stage 4 colon cancer, and he's real close to my age, it touched me. I talked to my wife Paulette about it, and I said, we need to do this and make this happen for Chad. And he brought up his dad and his uncle, hunting buddies from, I'm sure childhood, and I share them same kind of memories with my dad, and so I would hope that somebody would do the same for us if it was me standing in Chad's shoes.
The next morning, the guys waited for daybreak and hit the woods again. Now, I could only hunt for a couple of hours before I had to hit the road. I was packing my bags at the lodge and heard a bunch of commotion outside. Chad, what is going on?
Jenny, you should have stayed another 15 minutes after you left. He came out at the same place he did yesterday, the opposite way. He come out about 30 yards in front of me and then was running across the road, and I shot him with the muzzleloader and I hit him in the high shoulder.
Oh my gosh, your first elk!
Yep, first elk, and it was only 15 minutes after you left.
Oh, darn it. Well, cool. At least I can get to go see him before I head out of here.
Yep, perfect.
Are you guys heading out there right now?
Yep, we're going to go out and drag him back in with the sled.
Sweet.
Seeing the smile on Chad's face after this incredible hunt, and a dream come true. And hopefully God blesses us with Chad for many, many more years to come. But this video will be something, as a legacy that he'll be able to pass on to his kids and his grandkids, where they'll be able to see his dad, in good health, running through the snow, chasing down his dream hunt. So what a great experience.
That is so awesome. What do you think?
Absolutely amazing. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks to the Path Foundation and Perry here at Muy Grande for letting me come up, and hopefully someday I'll be able to bring my girlfriend and my daughter up here. She's only 14 months old, so a little too cold up here for her right now.
Many memories were made here today as Chad ended his dream hunt with a beautiful bull elk. This is no doubt a story that he will tell and retell for years to come. It's awesome to see sportsmen helping other sportsmen and creating lasting memories and friendships here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, that was definitely a kind of a neat story to see how a viewer watching a segment on the show was able to get a hold of some of the folks that put that on. Special thanks to the folks up at Muy Grande for making that hunt possible. Kind of neat to see that all come together. Now, speaking of you, the viewer, what we're going to do now is show you a few viewer videos. We mentioned at the beginning of the show that we didn't really run our viewer video competition this year, but that doesn't mean we don't want you to be sending in videos. We get several throughout the year. Here's just a handful of some of the best ones over the past few months.
of October 28th. I'm on my lease property today. I'm sitting on an old deadfall beech tree. I shot a deer here last year. Nice 8-point. I've got standing corn behind me. Got a bedding area in front of me.
It didn't take long, and I had a few does in front of me. A few minutes later, this nice buck showed up. Since I was self-filming, this buck caught me off guard. I wasn't ready with the camera and the bow, so I decided to let him walk. He ended up seeing some does in the hardwood, so he took off after them. The unfortunate thing for him is those does funneled right in front of me, and this time, I was ready. I just got that all on film.
I wasn't gonna shoot that buck, but it came back, so I decided to whack him. I think I got a good hit on him. I'm gonna look at the film, see what happened, but I hit him a little bit high, but not too bad, so we'll see. Stay tuned.
Well, Jason looked to have a pretty good hit on the deer. It was a little high, but after giving a deer a little time, Jason was able to find his prize. What a great buck, all on camera. Not an easy thing to do at all.
Yeah, pretty excited to get this thing on the ground, on film, and yeah, it'd be a nice European mount. So, it's awesome.
Congrats to Jason on your deer, and thanks for sharing the video with us. Up next, we have another deer hunt, this time with father and daughter.
I created dead-on hunting a few years ago, and out of all the guys that I film with, my 10-year-old daughter is really the only one that's been able to consistently kill a deer on film every year. So she's kind of setting the standard that we're all chasing. You wouldn't know it by looking at her, but she definitely has the face of a killer. She put in a lot of work pre-season this year, trimming shooting lanes and checking trail cameras, and she had to hunt pretty hard before she was actually able to finally kill a buck.
What I liked about this video is that they really chronicled the entire season. We didn't have time for all of the video, but it was definitely a season to remember.
I've been hunting with my dad now for a couple of years, and we haven't even seen a buck, so I was really excited to try and get one this year. The season started off pretty slow. When we went out there a couple of times, we saw a lot of action, but I just couldn't get a shot at anything. When we finally got out for late season, the weather turned and it was really cold. But my dad promised me that if we went out that day, there would definitely be deer on their feet.
Well, if a doe comes out today, we're going to try and pass on it, and we're just going to hope that that 6-point comes out. There's also 2 other nice bucks that are out here, and she's ready to shoot any buck that she sees. For her first buck, we'll go ahead and let her do that, but I generally will pass on the smaller bucks out here in the hopes that they grow up, but if she can get one, that's all we're hoping for.
So finally, Mackenzie and her dad have a buck coming in during the late season, and it was heading right to them. Now, they were hoping for a good broadside or quartering away shot, so they had to wait just a bit, but they never really thought this would happen. The buck bedded down right in front of them. Now the wait was on to see just if and when the buck would stand and if it would present a good shot.
To shoot right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I totally freaked out for a second. Oh, my feet are numb. My feet are numb.
Oh, I know your feet are numb, kids.
Well, you have to love hunting with kids. Mackenzie was so cold they had to get her feet warmed up in the truck while they gave the buck a little time. Well, with warm toes and what looked like a good shot, they went after the deer.
Well, we just found our first one. It's definitely dead. This is my buck. This buck came out, and I kind of thought it was a doe because his antlers are kind of small, and he kept on coming straight towards us, and he kneeled down on the ground, actually. It was really cool.
You put a good shot on him. He wasn't bleeding a lot.
Oh, he is now, though. My first buck ever, and I couldn't be happier.
That's a good deer, Ken. I'm proud of you.
Well, thanks to Mackenzie for sharing that special hunt with all of us. Now, this next video is something some of us have seen or heard in the woods. Turkeys fighting. However, Ron Molker of Granville just happened to have a camera on him when he heard the noise and just kept getting closer and closer. These were 2 nice longbeards fighting each other through a fence of all things. Ron just kept getting closer until he was just a few paces from the birds. One nice thing about taking a camera with you to the woods is you literally have no idea what kind of stuff you might just find. Well, that bragging board segment really has become kind of a neat deal here over the last several months on Michigan Out of Doors. It's a chance for us to kind of see what you, the viewer, have been up to, and we can't get to all the pictures that are sent to us, but we do try to get as many on as possible. And one of the pictures in this week's segment was part of the wolf hunt. Now, many of you know that Jenny Olson was part of the Michigan wolf hunt in the Upper Peninsula this year. She had a rough go, never even saw a wolf, and when Don sent us his picture of the wolf that he got, well, we wanted to do a little more in-depth on that picture and find out a little bit more about his Michigan wolf hunt.
I decided to hunt in Unit B, Bariga area, and went up twice. I made 2 trips up. First trip was about 16 days or so, and through Thanksgiving, wow. Yeah, through Thanksgiving, actually had bait sites being hit, but I think at night mostly. So we were hunting over bait, roadkill deer tied to a tree. So. And then I made a second trip up, the total of 20 days of hunting. And Christmas Day, actually several days before that site was being hit too. And Christmas Day at about 12:20, there was a wolf.
So you didn't see anything the first 20 days?
Not a thing, nope. I had howls the first day. I had some answers to my call, howls. And then I think I had several howls on the 22nd or so off the bait site where I did get my wolf. They were in that area pretty heavily, but just not during the daylight hours. Christmas Day, our site was hit the day before Christmas Eve, so I went out there, got out there about gray light, and hours and hours and hours. I think I was out there just over 10 hours the day before, and you know, you get to think your whole life through several times in a day, you know.
So indicate how far was the shot?
About 120 yards. Yeah, pretty good distance. From my sighting to the shot was probably 30 seconds, maybe it seemed, you know, it might have been a couple of minutes tops. So, but it was probably the greatest hunt I've ever been on.
Well, congrats to Don for his patience and his trophy. The first Michigan wolf hunt was not an easy hunt.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. If you'd like to check out some of our older episodes or watch tonight's episode over again, or maybe even see how to get a hold of us to send in a viewer video, you can do that on our website at michiganoutofdoorstv.com. And speaking of online, you can always check us out on our Facebook page too. We're on there on a semi-daily basis, letting you know where we are and what's going on.
Well, lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks here on Michigan Out of Doors. We've been out doing a little bit of ice fishing, a squirrel hunting tournament recently, actually some good late season waterfowl action. You won't want to miss that over the next several weeks here on Michigan Out of Doors. And we're not too far away from our 2 big buck nights. So if you shot a big buck this year, or if you know someone that did, you want to get that deer scored by Commemorative Bucks of Michigan. That's how we get our entries for our big buck nights coming in both February and in March. So, hey, if we don't see you in the woods or on the water between now and next week, hopefully you'll see you right back here on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama February 27th through March 2nd at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, wildlife encounters, and of course, Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama in Novi February 27th through March 2nd. By Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Meyer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meyer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meyer. Closed captioning is brought to you by Propane, exceptional energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. White-tailed deer in the tall pine.